It's a Super Sunday in the Lone Star State. Welcome along to Texas, welcome along to Austin, and round 18 of the Formula One World Championship in 2018, where today could be the day that the title is decided. Design of this circuit inspired by several European Formula One tracks, and it's a great track as well. 3.4 miles long, we climb up to turn 1, descend down through the S's. The long back straight sees speeds of over 200 miles an hour, and plenty of action into turn 12 for overtaking, and turn 1 of course as well. It's going to be an interesting start today. Max Verstappen in 2017 doing his best to get past Kimi Räikkönen and get onto the podium, but all four wheels were off the track and he got kicked off that podium a few moments later. We have 3 compounds of tyre today. It's the soft with a yellow stripe, the super soft with the red stripe, the ultra soft with the purple stripe, and that's the tyre that Kimi Räikkönen starts on. The super soft for Lewis Hamilton. It's going to be a mad dash into turn 1. The starting grid then, Hamilton with his 81st career pole. He's won in the US every time he started on the front row. Kimi Räikkönen alongside him for Ferrari. Valtteri Bottas starts 3rd as he did last year. Daniel Ricciardo 4th, his highest grid spot since pole in Monaco. A 3-place grid penalty demoted Sebastian Vettel to 5th. Max Verstappen, a 5-place grid penalty for him. It's a glorious day for a title decider. Whether Lewis Hamilton does it or not, Martin Brundle, I think we've got one hell of a race here in Texas ahead of us.
Absolutely agree. Grid is perfectly poised. Hamilton out front, Räikkönen on the softer tyres. So Vettel taking that critical 3-place drop. Further down the field, we've got Verstappen in 18th place.
So this could be Kimi Räikkönen's last chance to win a Formula One Grand Prix. With all due respect to Sauber, where he goes next year, he's not likely to be on the front row very often. So does he drive for himself today, or does he try and get into the lead, hold the pack up a little bit, allow his teammate to get closer to Lewis Hamilton and do the job for Ferrari?
I think that's what we ask him to do. Get in front, control the pack, and who knows what's going to happen in the next minute or two and in the next hour and a half or so.
It is not where you start, it's where you finish, but the start could well dictate very much the finish today. And just to throw this into the mix as well, the last few races, Mercedes have had the pace over Ferrari. That wasn't the case in qualifying yesterday. Ferrari are back in terms of pace. Stand by for action, everybody. 2018, and we're all lined up. Drivers, the car's been kept for a very, very long time as well, but the 5 lights are on, and it's lights out, and away we go. Hamilton and Räikkönen get away well, and Hamilton goes to cut Kimi off, but Kimi's going to dart down the inside, is he? Going into turn 1 now, Räikkönen is just ahead of Hamilton. Bottas in 3rd, Ricciardo on the inside of Bottas. Vettel goes wide, Kimi Räikkönen leads the Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton 2nd, Valtteri Bottas, then comes Daniel Ricciardo, and then a very good start indeed by Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault. Just behind Sebastian Vettel going off Romain Grosjean, and there's a spinner of Williams, and that looks like Fernando Alonso out as well for McLaren.
Yeah, Verstappen is still going. I wonder if it was him initially, but Ricciardo got a tremendous start. Had a look at the inside of Bottas. Those ultra-soft tyres on the Ferrari work perfectly. Lewis knew he could not have contact with that Ferrari. Vettel went off the track and came back on rather abruptly, but I don't think that'll be a problem.
For the first time since Abu Dhabi 2016, Kimi Räikkönen makes up a place on lap 1, and his teammate Sebastian Vettel has made up a place on Daniel Ricciardo as well. A flying start for the 2 Ferraris. Vettel is now past Ricciardo. Can Ricciardo fight it back? Vettel outbroke himself just a little bit, and it's now going to be nip and tuck as there's more contact down at turn 12, and another car spinning off. As Ricciardo into Sebastian Vettel. They've rammed each other. Sebastian Vettel, as it happened at Suzuka, has now been spun 180 degrees in the next race as well.
That's the 3rd time we've seen that Ferrari make contact with his front axle and just pendulum round. He'd already passed Ricciardo, and then got too deep into the corner, and a little bit of contact directly 90 degrees across his front axle, and around goes Vettel.
I said it's not where you start, it's where you finish, but the start could dictate the finish, and for Sebastian Vettel, is that his championship challenge finished?
Let's just watch Lewis on the right. Yeah, Lewis, you could see the rear tyres just loosened off a little bit. Kimi had perfect traction, very, very close, but Kimi's got completely the right way, the high line there, and off he goes, perfect.
So, just ahead is Kevin Magnussen, and now, Alonso going in a Stroll.
I don't know how much damage I have. these guys are impossible to race with, impossible. And they cannot do the stars like this, you know. You cannot go into the corners crashing with other cars.
Right, well, he won't be doing it next year, obviously, but not happy about that today. There's Charles Leclerc after having been made contact. I think that could have been by Romain Grosjean down there, and there's Vettel spinning around.
It just seems to defy the laws of physics with Vettel. It happened in Monza when he hit Hamilton. The Ferrari always goes round when it gets a touch on the front axle.
Grosjean outbroke himself, and that's why he hit Charles Leclerc.
Oh, no!
Stopping! Daniel Ricciardo stopping by the side of the track. Now, is this as a consequence of that incident with Sebastian Vettel? Either way, just off the exit of turn 11, he is pulled over to the side of the track, and his last US Grand Prix for Red Bull ends with a mechanical retirement on lap 9. Let's have a listen.
Just died.
Somebody switched off the lights and everything with it.
It's just a power failure, isn't it? He pits, you stay out. He stays out, you pit.
If Raikkonen pits, there's a chance he could get out ahead of the car in
He's
fourth
trying
place.
to dolly
Oh,
him.
and Hamilton goes in!
Yes,
so
he tried
Hamilton has done the opposite to Kimi Raikkonen. Trying to go this way and the other, throw the bluff, throw the double bluff, and Hamilton didn't fall for that.
No, he didn't.
So Lewis Hamilton, pitting, comes out behind his teammate Valtteri Bottas, but ahead of Max Verstappen in fourth place. And that's what I was trying to say, if they brought Raikkonen in, he too would be ahead of Max Verstappen.
The problem for Vettel, if he stopped, he would get a lot of traffic. But
green flag, track clear, we're racing again. I just wonder if Ferrari, by not being aggressive and not being racy with their strategy calls, haven't committed a bit of a mistake here that Kimi Raikkonen might pay for later. Sorry, Martin.
if I thought it was a no-brainer for Raikkonen, Vettel to come in, it's the same with Raikkonen, surely.
Paul at race control.
To roll a double 60 today, don't they? I don't get the Vettel one why he didn't come in, but for Raikkonen I can understand maybe for track position on Bottas, because if they pitted, of course they're going to come across. Hamilton's going to get that wave through, but that could influence it quite a lot.
Kimi most likely Hamilton is on 2 stops.
They just say most likely 2 stops.
2 stops, so they're trying to pacify him as to why he didn't come in, trying to explain to the driver why, he's like, why didn't he come in? As they squabble, this will be hurting the front tyres of Hamilton's Mercedes as he has less air, less downforce, pushing the car into the track. Therefore, the tyres slide across and understeer through sections like this. You're asking a lot of a Formula One front tyre when you're leaning on it and pulling 4.5G through the corners.
Quickly from the stewards' room, Carlos Sainz has a 5-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. When he comes into his pit stop, he'll have to stay stationary for 5 seconds before they can change his tyres. He got a great start, but the steward said it contravened the regulations on what is and isn't allowed. Right.
I'd do that every time then. Gain a load of places and just have 5 seconds in the pits. That is a great big win.
It's a net gain possibly for Carlos Sainz. DRS for Lewis Hamilton. Fast pace from the Ferrari. Hamilton tries to go down the inside. He can't do it once again. Is the outside the way to go here? Not on that occasion. Once again, Hamilton gets great traction out of turn 12. Now trying to go round the outside and is really being held up by Kimi Raikkonen. It was a bold move by Hamilton. It hasn't paid off and he's lost yet more time behind that Ferrari. And this is really, really hurting his chances of winning the race today. Through turn 17 we go, where Kimi Raikkonen was passed by Max Verstappen last year. He's not going to be passed by Hamilton on this occasion.
So bumpy in turn 18 there, Lewis had to get out of it. And Raikkonen pits, that's played beautifully into the hands then of Mercedes. And Red Bull will be so disappointed that that's happened, because Verstappen was coming at them like crazy. Just 3.8 seconds off the lead is Max Verstappen. That's really playing into his hands.
Lewis Hamilton's pace out in front is good at the moment, but at what stage does he have to start backing off and preserving his tyres as well? Or does he commit to that 2-stopper?
Sebastian box.
Sebastian Vettel doesn't really want to hold Max Verstappen up here for very much longer. He's pitting anyway. Verstappen, who passed one Ferrari on the inside and it cost him last year, goes around the outside of the Ferrari this time to make sure there's going to be no trouble whatsoever. And he is up into third place, which he would have got anyway because Sebastian Vettel is coming in for his pit stop. There's the swapperoo with Vettel and Raikkonen.
You will need to let Kimi by.
Still sliding fast or what?
Yes, you can go, he knows.
He is pitting.
He is coming
He
in.
is pitting.
He is coming in. If Hamilton was to finish third and
So-
Vettel finished P5, it carries on to Mexico.
But yeah, here he is. Let's see if the pit stop is sweet.
We've been right on it. Will he be close enough for a lunge?
So here he goes then. Does he want to make that lunge? Does he have to make that lunge? He's a racer. He'll go for it if it's there, but it's not quite there. On this occasion, Verstappen a few car lengths ahead, but gets a really bad exit coming out of turn 12, and suddenly Lewis Hamilton is all over Max Verstappen. This could be the title right here as Hamilton switches to the inside, and Verstappen just stays ahead as they now go left-handed and gets the inside line himself, but once again Hamilton gets a better exit. Now, round 10, 17, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen going wheel to wheel, and Verstappen on the better line, getting away from Hamilton as he goes wide and onto the runoff. And was that the moment that the title today slipped out of Lewis's hand? Meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel is a lot closer to Valtteri Bottas than he has been for the last few laps, and could Vettel now take the fight on as well?
Better fish sharp at the full flag.
Yes, we will, Kimi.
Here comes Sebastian Vettel on Valtteri Bottas towards turn 12 we go. Sebastian Vettel was wheel to wheel, and he is still wheel to wheel as Bottas brakes late, but he brakes too deep, and he goes off into the runoff area, and Sebastian Vettel puts himself up into 4th place. Wow, great action here with 2 laps to go. And Kimi Raikkonen, who started on the front row and who arguably had his best chance in a long, long while of winning a race, is going to see now, for the first time in 113 races, the checkered flag for him as a winner. Kimi Raikkonen wins the US Grand Prix and breaks the record for the longest gap between race wins. It is victory for Ferrari.
Grande Kimi.
Well done, my friend.
Thank you. Finally. Thank you, guys.
The wingman today is flying though. Kimi Raikkonen. And I'll say it again. Australia, 2013, the last time he stood on the top step of the podium. This is his 50th podium finish for Ferrari. But for Kimi Raikkonen, it is the top step of the podium, it is victory, and he's maybe reborn in the USA. The championship challenge then continues on for another weekend. It could have been Lewis Hamilton's day. It didn't work out the way he wanted, but what an absolutely epic race it was. And for Kimi Raikkonen, a day to remember for many a long year.